Hey guys, so this is part two for my K-pop questions. Um, I don't want to make the videos like longer, they're 35 minutes, so if you want to if you ask a question, hopefully I answer yours in this video. And if you want to just like listen to me answer questions, stick around. Yeah, so okay. Where do you buy all your albums? Approximately how much do they cost? This is actually an interesting question. I kind of answered it in part one. Obviously, I buy all my albums online. I'm never buying a K-pop album like in a store. I never seen one in a store. If I did, I would probably buy one. Um, I mostly, and then how much do they cost? So this is like an interesting question. So, K-pop albums generally cost, I would say, $16 to 24, and that's yeah, shipped. And I'm just speaking for the U.S. So not everyone has different way of collecting K-pop albums. I particularly don't care too much for photo cards. I even want to start just selling photo cards that I have for albums that I bought brand new. But that's that's one thing. If you don't care about photo cards, you're gonna find albums being sold for like 12, $15 shipped. Sometimes even $10, stuff like that. So I am a really avid collector, so I collect a bunch of groups. So obviously, I want to find everything at the best price. But if you only collect like one or two or three groups, yeah, I wouldn't stress too much about it. But you can save a little bit of money buying them without photo cards. Unless you want photo cards, just expect to pay a little bit more because the shipping and the sellers obviously want to make more money, so they sell it a little bit more expensive. And then what else? But if you don't care, you can also sell the photo cards. But so honestly, I don't particularly like selling that stuff that much because I just don't like charging people for stuff. Yeah, but and then you can always sell the photo cards. But if you want to keep them, just keep them or buy them with other photo cards. Okay. 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 What advice would you give those people who are wanting to collect K-pop albums? Okay, so if you're collecting that many groups plus your bias groups. Okay, so again, this is different for everybody. This is my advice. It doesn't work for everybody. Um, okay, so I know that most K-pop fans are typically for like middle school to high school and older. Obviously, good majority of the fandom are like high school and middle school. That's for sure. So you don't really have that much money unless you work and you have rich parents. That's it. But I think saying for in general, I think people don't have that much money to spend on K-pop unless you work. Uh, so I would definitely say I do collect a lot of groups. So I have different ways of collecting. I kind of prioritize more on the ones that I like the most. I typically buy their albums within the year they release the album. If not, I always have it in my list on things to buy. So my top groups are like I would say top six. Okay, so from boys, Dongbangchenki, Shiny, and Dongbangchenki, like Infinite. So those three. Then we got Girls' Generation, Kara, and Barnet Girls. So I always have tried to buy their stuff within the year they release stuff, because sometimes I don't have money. Sometimes I buy things without the photo cards because I honestly don't care about photo cards. So it's just how you really decide on how you want to collect. If you want to collect albums with photo cards, just expect to spend more money. Or you can always sell the photo cards, like I was saying earlier. Definitely focus on your top groups. How I buy sometimes is just the albums I enjoy the most from the groups that I like. I don't try to buy albums for groups that recently come out that I know I'm not gonna collect. So that's definitely like a thing that some people do, is just buy anything that's being released. But yeah, just have a list of the albums you like the most from your group. Get those. That's definitely like the albums you like the most, because if you those are the ones you want to listen to the most. Yeah, and then if it's an older group that you're trying to collect, buy their most recent stuff. If you see stuff that's at a print for a good price, get it instantly, because it's sometimes sometimes you will find things for $10, and then after that's sold, it's being sold for $60. And I'm not kidding on that. It's like a thing. So definitely keep updated, especially if your group is from a smaller company. Get their stuff within a couple months. Okay, this person asked a couple questions. Do you think the industry will ever be less harsh towards idols when it comes to how long they have to practice dating schedules? No, I don't think that's going to change. It's part of the Korean culture. Hopefully there are more laws regarding how much they have to practice, but sometimes it's even forced by a company, or just the artists themselves or the trainees do it, practice themselves, just to be better performers and all of that. So that's the thing that can also be difficult to kind of pinpoint, because a lot of these idols really, really want to just be the best. So they put all their effort into being the best. I know for the big three, I know that a lot of them do it voluntarily. So, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna change much. I hope that there are laws where they limit the amount of stuff that they have to do if they're being forced. In your opinion, well, and it's just the thing is like that issue is really complex. In your opinion, what was the best K-pop year for overall releases? I don't know. I feel like from 2008 to 2011 was a really great year for singles and albums. I think definitely, yeah, those years I really enjoyed, and like there were like major debut songs during those years. So, what comeback has surprised you? It can be because due to a concept. What group celebrates? Okay, a comeback that surprised me. Definitely the Wonder Girls reboot. I think when it really surprised me when they're like, oh, we're gonna play guitar and instruments now, and I was like, okay, that's gonna be weird. And then they actually, I think, were pretty decent. I know they were not amazing, but they were pretty good. Okay, what group or soloist did musically or? Okay, that makes sense. What sounds do you want to hear in K-pop that may not have been explored enough or used at all? I hope there's more like Latin influence, because I do like I'm from South America, so well I was born in South America, but I live in the U.S. So I have always have loved Latin music, and with groups like Super Junior, like collaborating with like, even though she's kind of like irrelevant, they collaborated with that Leslie Grace girl, and they made a really good song. And I just love when they incorporate the Spanish language, because Spanish is such a beautiful language, and I think it would just be interesting how it's intertwined with the Korean language. What sounds do you want to hear? Okay, oh yeah. Okay. Is it crucial for a group or soloist to have a strong Western fan base? Yes and no. Yes, if they want to tour, I think that's definitely a plus. Always, I don't think it's necessary to have a strong Western fan base because a lot of K-pop fans don't actually buy this stuff. And I'm looking at you all. I'm not looking at you all. I'm just saying those to you all who just downloaded it illegally. Yeah, that's you guys. For the people who actually buy the music, or hopefully stream it if you can't buy it, um, uh, it helps to some extent, but you really want to be successful within Korea if you want to last. Um, uh, yeah, a lot of groups survive for a while, but then they eventually fade because they're older and their fan base is older. But if you have a solid fan base in Korea, you're gonna last. But yeah, that's my take on it. Who is your ultimate bias in K-pop? My ultimate bias, if you don't know by my channel profile thing, photo, is Jessica from Girls' Generation, or former member of Girls' Generation. I always see her as a member because I'm just like that. But after her, it is Kain from Brana Girls and Jokwan from 2AM. And then right after them is Taeyeon from Girls' Generation. So those four are kind of like really strong contenders. I love them so much. Yeah. And then yeah, I have like those are ultimates. Obviously, Donbang members are up there, but Jessica is just so special to me, and along with Taeyeon, I think those two, even though there are rumors that they didn't like each other, I just adore them. And then Kai and Jokwan, they won me over with their We Got Married show. I think that friendship was just so genuine, and I I adore them so much. I think when they finished doing that show, I cried. That's how dramatic I was. But and musically, both of them, I think Jokwan had a great solo debut, and really just disappointed that he hasn't released more solo stuff. And then Kain as a solo is so incredible. Aside the Barna Girls, who put out great just great music, Kain just has an amazing discography. What is your dream? Okay, if I had any dreams today to give up, yeah, here and there, but I don't remember too much. What do you think of NCT? Debuting as an 18 member group, what do you think of the song Black on Black? I don't have any thoughts on NCT. Honestly, they are the only group from SM I don't follow. I did like the first few releases, but I don't know. I can't get into a group that changes so much. There's too many members. Um, some of the songs are catchy, but I don't know. They just don't speak to me. They don't. Nothing happens. I really like Jaehyun and Ten from NCT. I don't know. I don't like how they're being marketed, and how they're being just distributed. And I don't know. I just don't like how the whole system is. I don't like it. I feel bad for Mark for being in so many subunits, but good for him because he's gonna make more money than the other ones. But I don't know. I just they've been flopping still. Obviously, some people are buying the albums because they are in a SM group, but if they weren't on their SM, they will be flopping even harder. I think that a lot of K-pop fans are not going to get down with that. The Korean public, I don't think they're gonna go down with that either. It just doesn't click with me. Um, I think they're really good looking. That's one thing. I think they have some pretty catchy songs, but I don't really pay attention too much to their stuff. What I do like is that their music has been consistent in terms of sound. It's not my favorite sound, but I like that they're consistent. So that's a positive. And I'm just speaking for like their older units, I guess, because NCT Dream is a joke. For me, it's just they're just too young. It's like kids bop music. Uh, do you think BAP would had been sweeping the world with their music if they didn't go under the lawsuit? Honestly, I think I that's one thing I always just kind of think about because when I don't know, there's kind of like a theory and just it makes me so curious. When they went under the hiatus, BTS gained a lot of momentum. I think that the CEO from Big Hit was inspired by BAP for sure. There's no denial. I think that if there wasn't a BAP, there wasn't gonna be such a big success for BTS. The reason why is when BAP first debuted, they gained a lot of fans abroad, and this was really evident because they were touring a lot since they I think since like within a year of their debut. Like they were touring a lot of places, they were promoting a lot. Obviously they were not getting any money, so that's where the whole lawsuit thing. And then when they had their hiatus, BTS started like basically getting all of their fans and then growing their fan base. Their sound was definitely inspired by BAP. Obviously they developed it a lot more. They developed a lot more than BAP did because BAP had like a mix of like very cutesy stuff too. But they started out with the whole concept with just having that image completely different than what every other group was doing. And yeah, so I it makes me curious to because like they were neck and neck with EXO in terms of just international acclaim. Not acclaim. I was it just international fans, because they were getting that momentum in Korea. So unfortunately, they didn't go anywhere. So BTS kind of took that that spot, that sector in that K-pop sound, and they ran with it. Which company, in your opinion, makes the best, most creative album covers? I can't really say, but I really like what Jellyfish does with Vix. Only with Vix, because Gugudan are not a group I really like that much. What was your favorite K-pop song? Don't know. Do you prefer M Flying or Day 6? And Flying. Who are your favorite subgroups or soloists? Subgroups I can't really say much. I would just say Orange Caramel. I think that's the best subunit ever. And then for soloists, Boa, Ihyori, and because if I don't know, if it can be like soloists from groups of Taeyeon, Taemin, basically the groups I follow, but from like soloists, Boa. I think she's a queen. She's amazing. Do I ship anyone? No. Okay, so I don't want to make this video too long. I'll answer the rest of the videos in the part 3. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it was interesting. I hope you enjoy this video. Sometimes I rant too much per question, so that's why it takes so long for me to answer. I don't know. I think too much sometimes. Alright, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.